Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is the Fantastic Four versus the X-Men number 3. Continuing on the series right here, we got an awesome cover. Again, Franklin Richards, as his two parents are dead, and now he's apparently running away from all of the X-Men who are apparently wearing Dr. Doom masks. Dude, it's a lot of Franklin freaking running away, basically, as his parents are dying. In his Power Pack uniform, might I add. Anyway, by the soul's darkest lights. So this issue of this miniseries, The Fantastic Four, once again written by Chris Claremont, penciled by Jon Bogdanove, inked by Terry Austin, and Ascenti editor, Don Daly, consulting editor, and editor-in-chief Jim Shooter. Great scene here. We got a perfect Doctor Doom monologue as he mentions all of the damage and injuries that Storm took fighting Human Torch. You know, and as he says, fortunately for you X-Men, you turn to Doctor Doom for help. You always got to kick that drama into overdrive as Doctor Doom uses some of his technology to repair the damage to Storm. And Betsy, of course, notes, if you had this technology, why don't you share it to the rest of the world so freaking burn victims didn't have to die, right? Bit of some backwards logic there by Psylocke. And we get to the rest of the team. Here is Dazzler, Havoc, and Longshot. They're kind of hanging out in the castle here in Latveria. And speaking of hanging out in Latveria and probably not keeping an eye on herself, Rogue was kind of going around town shopping, of course, because this is a Chris Claremont X-Men book. So, of course, Rogue and the girls are out shopping. And here come all the robots to kind of rein her in. Terrible misunderstanding. The X-Men get into a big fight with Doctor Doom's robots. And, of course, Doctor Doom here looking like a freaking gangsta with Storm here. Basically screaming at the X-Men, you know, hey, what's going on here? We're guests here. Why are we fighting, right? Sort of the back and forth right here. By the way, Storm and Doctor Doom being together, this is almost like a flashback to that X-Men, I think it was either an X-Men issue or an annual. I forget which one it was, but yeah, like the first meeting of Doctor Doom and Storm, I think Doctor Doom tries to like seduce Storm. It was pretty interesting. But yeah, Storm kind of chews out her team. Meanwhile, back with Kitty Pryde, we actually get here a scene of Kitty Pryde actually thinking about her situation as she doesn't trust Doom like a lot of people, and she doesn't want the X-Men to kind of sell their souls just to save her. And then suddenly she decides, well, screw it, I'm just gonna go and freaking ace myself, end my life, and protect the X-Men from whatever plan Doom's having. And suddenly Franklin's there in his astral form. It's kind of screaming at Kitty, please don't do it. Please don't kill yourself, right? X-Men run up, and she even has like Psylocke try to stop her. But you know, here, and by the way, the art here by Jon Bogdanove. I know people in the chat don't. There's been some people who don't really like Jon, but man, I kind of dig his stuff in here. And again, I don't know how much of this is Jon and how much of this is Terry Austin inking. Though I will say Terry is not nearly as strong as he's normally, especially his older stuff, right? This is rather light inking by him. And then Franklin's able to convince Katie not to go freaking off herself here. And you get a cute little scene here with them kind of hugging and whatnot. By the way, in the next issue, Claremont kind of plays with this a little bit, and that's kind of the weird thing about the X-Men of this era. Kitty Pryde obviously was Claremont's favorite character. He co-created her with John Byrne, but he always was a little bit on like the edge right here with Kitty Pryde, her being like 14 or 15 when she joins the X-Men, but having a relationship with Peter Colossus, who is obviously significantly older, and Kitty also, having sort of, an interest in Franklin, or suggested interest in Franklin later on, which is sort of the opposite direction right here. But anyhow, the X-Men, of course, are happy to see Kitty still good, and you've got Like, dang, dude. I like the storytelling by freaking Jon Bogdanove here. We can make Doctor Doom into basically Darth Vader, sort of the inking here. I like it a lot. Ah. Back on, so the rest of this issue essentially follows, little side stories with all of the characters of the Fantastic Four. So last we left Reed Richards, he was basically broken. The Fantastic Four had broken up after they discovered that, according to Reed Richards' diary, he planned and did on purpose their initial origin flight into the stars, which made them all the Fantastic Four. In the case of the Thing cursed him to be part of the Fantastic Four, right? Here you can see him sort of thinking to himself, these are caption boxes that are working as thought balloons. Actually, no. These aren't. These are actually just regular classic Chris Claremont narration. I'm like getting mixed up here. Claremont rarely uses caption boxes as a replacement for thought balloons. He always uses caption boxes as a function of delivering sort of his prose style writing, his third person narration. Here you see the thought balloons here, and of course tons of thought balloons because this is Chris Claremont in the 80s. Here he is, thinking to himself, how could I have done this? But this book says I did it, yet I can't remember. And he ends up visiting his son. He's kind of broken heart right here, has a moment with his son. And this is sort of classic, the method that Claremont loved to write about, which is the humanity in all of his characters, right? So here in the previous issue, we're revealed that Reed is this, cold and calculating monster that set up his family and his friends to be transformed into these things just to gain superpowers, right? And then here we see him as a doting father. And this also reminds Sue that, no matter what happens, right, he's still the father of her son. And also, he's still, the scene right here reminds her that there's a human being here in Reed Richards. He's not always this calculating machine all the time, right? So jump over to, whoa, little papers popping up right here. You got the X-Men training right here, and then another really sad scene. So this is Ben Grimm, and he goes to a bar to basically get trashed, and you get great thought balloons here by Chris Claremont as the Thing is thinking to himself. Chris really knows the Fantastic Four, though he has his own interpretation of them. And what's really great about this is sort of the realism of this all, right? Going to a New York bar, getting basically, this is sort of your regular sort of working class bar. So he's drinking whiskey, beer, eating burgers, and just looking as all these people talk to each other. But, he is the Thing. He will never have the life that all the people here have, right? He'll never have kids. He'll never have love the way that Sue and Reed have, or that even Johnny and Alicia, his ex-girlfriend at this time, right, have right now. And so he leaves the bar, at closing time, and then he runs into this massive accident right here with a child that's left in that car. It's going to get burned alive, and of course the Thing jumps into action, saves the child, gets saved by some people, and it reminds him, hey, that he has purpose, he has value with his life, and maybe he can't have the things that other people have, due to his circumstances, but that doesn't mean his life is without value or without purpose, right? It's a great lesson here in this short sort of what is this? This is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? There's a story in 5 pages right there. It's freaking great. And same story here with the Human Torch, except he has to go talk to his fling, Alicia Masters, and she's got to remind him, what he's, good for. And Sue sort of arrives here, talks to Reed, and finally lets him know, I don't believe that book. I don't think you are the man that wrote whoever that book was about, right? We reach the climax point with Dr. Doom starting his operation on Kitty Pryde, and the Fantastic Four now finally coming together with Reed realizing he has to face his fears, whatever was in that diary, go back to Latveria and save Kitty Pryde. That's not the plot of an X-Men comic book in the 80s. You also get some pretty good dialogue here with the team coming back together. So all in all, what's really cool about this issue is just sort of the mastery of the almost anthology-like format that Claremont has here. This really is, even though this is one issue in a mini-series, it really is several stories patched together with Reed Richards, The Thing, Flash here, kind of dealing with their inner demons, which is a very Claremont thing, right? He was always about that. People sort of fighting with themselves about what they want, what their motivations are, what their struggles are, right? And then, but ultimately coming together to be heroes, right, at the end of the day, despite, the conflicts of the world, themselves, others, etc., right? So yeah, only got one issue left right here, and we'll be done with this one. And then I will probably be returning to, after I finish this one, I'll probably be returning to the New Mutants, and then also probably doing, actually I'm thinking I'm going to do a series on some other European comics that I haven't covered yet on the channel, and then probably a series on some DC stuff. I've been thinking about doing some DC stuff. I haven't quite decided which one I want to do, but I kind of know what I want to do from the DC universe. Anyhow, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on the Fantastic Four vs. the X-Men #3, leave it down below, and I will see you next time.